Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Pacer Baseball. Today, the USC Aiken Pacers will take on North Georgia in Game 1 of a three-game set. On the mound for the Pacers today, we have Eric Davis as he sets up to throw the first pitch, which is in there for call strike one. Davis's counterpart is the leadoff man for North Georgia, Eric Delgado. 0-1 pitch finds the strike zone for strike two, and the count is quickly 0-2.
74 degrees here at the Burt. Blue skies, a little bit of wind.
And lots of pollen.
Can never have enough pollen.
And the 0-2 pitch, grounded, fouled on the third base line.
And weak effort by the third base coach. He stuck his mitt out there, but he wasn't committed to it. It almost looked like he got alligator arms in that effort.
That was the reason he's coaching and not fielding.
It's that time of year where you watch young ladies walk into the stadium, and first thing they do is look at the seats and realize, anywhere I sit, I'm going to get yellow.
And that one right in there for call strike three, and Delgado down looking for the first out of the game.
The shortstop, number 8, Connor Hoover.
That's going to bring Connor Hoover up to the plate.
Hoover comes into this game batting .325, 1 home run and 5 RBIs on the year, as he comes up with nobody on and 1 down in the top of the first inning. Catching the outside corner there for strike one.
Eric Davis is looking good. His accuracy is pinpoint as he's dancing around the edges of the strike zone, nipping just enough of it to inspire a strike call. Try to get him to chase that one.
Yep, count even at 1-1. Davis comes into this game with a 3-1 record in 7 appearances and only 1 start. He has a 1.65 ERA. And that one just missing for a 2-1 count.
He looked a little bit low.
And the 2-1. Show a bunt there. Pulled it back in time for ball 3.
Ball a little bit high. Try to get him to chase something there. Wasn't having it. We'll start all over. 3-1.
Davis also happens to lead the team in strikeouts with 42, now 43 after the first strikeout. And that one outside for ball 4. So they'll put a runner on first with 1 down for Sam.
Number 42, Sam Tideback.
For Sam Tideback. Tideback batting .416 on the year, with 5 home runs and 26 RBIs. Checking over on the runner on first. Another check on the runner at first. And while we wait for the first pitch to be thrown to the plate, the infield for the Pacers, we have Max Schoen behind the plate at catcher, Brian Pereira over at first base, Skylar Mercado at second, John Banks is over at third with Ty Ammerman at shortstop. There's a swing and a miss on that pitch for strike one. Out in the outfield, there's Chaz Powell in left field, Mitchell Price is over in center, and in right field we have Luke Westerberg. And the 0-1 pitch, hit foul, and the count now 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch, another foul ball. Will keep us right where we are at 0-2. Another check over on the runner at first. A little bit closer this time. However, Hoover was able to dive back.
Davis is just setting him up.
As a lefty, he's got a much better pickoff move. Oh, 2 is still the count to tie it back. And we're going to throw over to first there again after the ball. So the count 1-2 now, and a runner staying over on first.
The 1-2 pitch.
Runner goes from first. The throw to second is way off the mark.
He missed that to the wrong side of the bag. Got away from him a little bit on the throw.
So that'll be a stolen base for Hoover. So runner now on second with only one down in a 2-2 count. 2 tied it back. Another foul ball there. Count's going to stay at 2-2. Very well hit foul ball. Had he been just a half a second earlier, he might have put that one in field of play for a hit. And 2-2. Outside for ball 3, and the count now full.
Harry Davis has a propensity to be a slow starter sometimes. And the goal for him is to get out with as little damage as possible. Once he starts warming up, he gets into cruise control pretty quickly.
High fly ball into right field. Coming on and making the catch is the second baseman.
Mercado makes that call.
Now there are 2 down. And I'll bring up Trevor Sams.
41, Trevor Sams.
Trevor's a big fella. Definitely commands your respect the moment he walks up to the plate.
First pitch inside for ball 1. And the 1-0. That one is hit foul and almost into the Pacer bullpen.
That's going to bounce back out onto the field. Sounded like he found a dead spot on that bat the way he hit it. Just a little low on the handle, I guess. Had a little bit of a thud to it. But we got 1-1. Runner on second. 2 outs here at the top of the first.
Another foul ball there. Wonder if there's something up with that bat, because that was also a very dull thud there. Even if he could just catch a piece of it, it shouldn't sound like that.
He seems to be okay with it. It's not alarming him.
I guess that's all that really matters. 1-2 the count now.
You can rest assured it is not a corked bat.
No Sammy Sosa's here.
I wasn't going to throw out any names or anything. It's been known to happen a time or two over the history of baseball.
2-2 is going to be fouled off and out of play. And keep us right where we are.
A lot of 2s on the board.
Once again, the 2-2. And another foul ball. change of baseballs here. Obviously, Davis didn't like the ball he had. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second here in the top of the first inning with Trevor Sams at the plate. As that one misses for ball 3 and the count is full.
You know, a few boo birds from the Pacer fans, but I think that was a
good call.
pretty reasonable call.
Probably thinking because this guy's so tall, he's got such a huge strike zone. Maybe hoping the umpire's going to call one, but. And the 3-2 pitch. That one's hit in the air into left field, and that one is going to be into the corner.
That's going to score one.
1 run will score, and hustling in for a stand-up double is Trevor Sams. And North Georgia takes an early 1-0 lead here in the top of the first.
And they really might want to check that bat out. It still sounded really dead off his bat. I mean, he's a big boy. He could send it with probably a toothpick.
So after the RBI double, we'll have Stephen Tomlinson, the center fielder, come up for North Georgia. High and inside for ball 1.
It really is kind of comical watching all the folks walk in. I mean, pollen has just dusted the stadium, and everybody's trying to avoid yellow backsides. That's a good-looking pitch there to even the count 1-1. Good news is these same folks will need to do this all over again tomorrow. These trees are active.
Hopefully after a good rain, it'll knock some of the pollen off of them.
That would be a nice touch.
Here's the 1-1 pitch
in the dirt.
Nice job by Schoen there to hold on to that. And the 2-1 pitch. Also a bit low. And the count 3-1.
And again, this is where he can be a little slow on the start, but he's just got to battle through it.
And the 3-1.
That's going to be fouled out of play.
And another full count.
Davis has been coming with a steady diet of straight pitches. A lot of fastballs.
A couple curveballs in there to give him a little bit of variety. And the 3-2 swing and a miss for strike 3.
That was a nice little slider he threw right there to get by him, and that'll be out number 3, but not before they score 1. We're down 1-0 at the top of the first. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the bottom of the first inning, ladies and gentlemen. Skylar Mercado leads it off for the Pacers as they trail North Georgia 1-0. Mercado coming into this game, batting .292. He has 1 home run and 12 RBIs and swinging at the first pitch and fouling it off.
But Mercado, what he has brought to the equation is his defensive prowess at second, coming in and right off the bat, his inaugural year here with the Pacers.
He's had a few very impressive plays over at second. And he's
That's a nice shot right to right field, though. That one had, looked like the right fielder had the remote control for that, but that's going to bring up Chaz Powell to the plate.
The left fielder, number 12, Chaz Powell.
Chaz Powell batting .309 on the year, 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. Comes up with nobody on him, 1 down after the quick fly out by Mercado.
Foul out, fly out, it's an out.
Either which are good.
And that's a hot shot into the gap. That's going to be our first hit of the game. So good job by the senior Chaz Powell out of Florida. He went all Danny New on that shot.
And now the first baseman, Brian Pereira, stepping up with a runner on first and 1 down.
Pereira's been hit. He's been pretty hot lately.
Batting .354 with a team-leading 7 home runs and 20 RBIs. Tied for the lead in home runs with Zach Moon, who also has 7.
1 of 3 home runs from Emmanuel came from this fella right here.
On the mound today for North Georgia, we have Brandon Ager. And here's the pitch to Pereira. Missing for ball 1. He has Sam Tideback at catching for him. Over at first base, we have Trevor Sams. Second baseman is Eric Delgado. Third baseman, Devin Gearhart, as there's a check on first. Shortstop is Connor Hoover. And in the outfield, we have left fielder Josh Profit. Center fielder is Stephen Tomlinson. And the right fielder is Ryan Tomita. Another check on the runner at first. So a 1-0 count to Pereira. And they're going to check on Powell once again at first.
Chaz Powell's a threat to steal. He's had a good year out there in left field for the Pacers.
And saying Powell's a threat to steal. Has 5 stolen bases on the year so far.
I rest my case.
And a foul tip there by Pereira will even the count up at 1-1. However, he sits behind Mitchell Price for the lead, who has 7.
Corn dogs seem to be the rage out there today. I see a lot of them out there in the stands. Not making my stomach feel any better.
There's the 1-1. In there for call strike 2. And count 1 and 2. I may not make your stomach feel better, but certainly works for me.
Oh, it won't hurt it. That's for sure. I want to thank Danny New for giving us a little update on the volume issues. We think we've got it fixed now.
And another check over there for Powell on first. I think there's been more throws over to first than there have been to Pereira.
He can wear his arm out making that throw.
And the 1-2 inside, count even again at 2 and 2.
Tried to get a little bit of a breaking ball there. Couldn't get it to connect with the strike zone to even the count 2 and 2. Pereira or Powell with a little bit of a lead there. About standard, nothing extreme.
And that's going to be a hit into right field for a base hit for Pereira. The back-to-back base hits put runners on first and second for the Pacers.
And a lot of respect for the right fielder as the third base coach did not hesitate to stop Powell at second. A lot of times you want to stretch that arm out and see what they got, but apparently we know, and we're not messing with it as Zach Moon comes to the plate.
Zach Moon looking to regain his home run lead. He had it until the other day when Pereira managed to tie him up. Moon comes into the game batting .356 with those 7 home runs, but he still leads the teams alone with 28 RBIs.
Well, 7 home runs will do that.
That is true.
Pacers definitely in business.
First pitch high for ball 1.
I look like it got away from him. I don't see what he could have been trying to set up with that pitch. Unless he's just trying to make Zach Moon chase one. 7 home runs doesn't happen by accident. He's a smart batter. He's looking for a specific pitch, and he's going to send it into the atmosphere if he can get a hold of it.
I check on the runner at second there, and Powell dives back safe and sound.
So Chaz Powell is efficiently dirty for a baseball player now.
He's been diving back enough. I think he's already been dirty.
Pacers rocking the garnet tops, white bottoms.
And the 1-0.
Blue hats as that ball's fouled out of play. Even the count 1-1.
They surprisingly have a lot of different jerseys.
Kenny Thomas is a fashion diva.
I've always liked a good home jersey and good away jersey. 2 jerseys are good for me, but variety's nice and every now and again. Swing and a miss there by Moon for strike 2.
It is suggested that we might be the Oregon of Division II baseball.
I don't think we're that
You
extreme.
never know what we're going to be wearing. These guys go into their locker rooms and thread through these things like
It's definitely an interesting.
the divas that they could be.
Oregon definitely has an interesting uniform scheme going. Is that one
ball
popped up?
Foul, hopefully out of play, but first baseman's ranging all the way to the fence, and looks like he's going to be able to squeeze that for out number 2.
Couple feet over to the right, and it would have been over the fence. But it's out number 2, and Max Schoen coming up.
The catcher, number 6, Max Schoen.
And Schoen, if I remember right, hit one of the 3 homers against Emmanuel. I may be wrong on that. I'm going by memory on that. SID is shaking his head no as he looks it up. Nobody faster with the fingertips. And Brent Hager, the extraordinaire.
First pitch to Schoen in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second in the bottom of the first inning. Pacers trail North Georgia 1-0.
And I've been corrected. He did not hit a home run, but he should have.
The 1-0. That's lined right at the third baseman, and a nice grab there to end the inning. Pacers unable to score here as we go into the top of the second with them trailing 1-0. And welcome to the top of the second, folks. Ryan Tomita, the right fielder, leads it off for North Georgia. They lead the Pacers 1-0 here. Tomita comes into this game batting .262 as he fouls the first pitch off for strike one. Has 3 home runs on the year and 7 RBIs. And he also has one of the only 2 triples for North Georgia. And the 0-1 pitch, a fly ball into left center field. And that'll be caught by Powell for the first out.
The designated hitter, number 23, Connor Corbett.
That brings up today's DH for North Georgia, Connor Corbett. Corbett batting .182 on the year. No home runs and 4 RBIs. That first pitch is in there for a call strike. A 0-1 pitch on the outside there. Check swing and the appeal confirms it.
Hey, he thought about going for it, and it was just a little bit outside the strike zone. Wisely holds up for a 1-1 count.
That pitch also going to miss, and the count 2-1.
Yeah, it was in the exact same spot. Tempted him once, thought maybe he could tempt him again, but he didn't even nibble that time.
Foul tip in the 2-1 pitch to even the count up. Looks like he threw him a bit of a higher fastball there. And the 2-2 to Corbett. Swing and a miss. That time he got him to chase that pitch.
Yeah, he did. That was the exact same spot. Proved to be too much to lay off on the third effort.
That'll bring up the third baseman, Devin Gearhart. Gearhart batting .240 on the year with 1 home run and 14 RBIs.
Pacer fanatics in the stadium today, giving out funnel cakes. Seeing boiled peanuts.
That one grounded into left field for a base hit.
And corn dog seems to be the meal plan of the day.
So Gearhart makes it to first on the 2-out single. That'll bring up the left fielder and number 9 hitter, Josh Profit. Profit batting .286 on the year. Has 1 home run and 10 RBIs. Comes up with a runner on first and 2 down. Show bunt there. And he just caught a little piece of it with his bat for strike 1.
With a pretty good lead over there at first.
Swinging a foul tip on that one, and the count is 0-2.
Davis is not showing him a whole lot of attention. He's just going to focus on the man at the plate.
Well, with 2 outs and 2 strikes, I can't blame him for that. And he's going to actually check on the runner at first.
Well, and you're going to want to do that every blue moon. He's not really trying to do anything other than to keep him mindful that he knows he's there. Don't want him to get too much of a lead in case he gets a base hit. Wants to keep this man from getting any farther than second.
Another check over there on first. And yeah, especially with 2 outs, any bit of contact and that guy's going to be gone. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be high for ball 1. E 1-2.
Yeah, he took a little bit off that one. It was a good-looking pitch, but It'll even it up the count, 2-2.
And Prophet thought about going for it there, and it was definitely a good pitch to go for, but also a good pitch to lay off of.
I don't know. That looked really close to a strike from here.
And the 2-2 pitch, runners going. The throw to second. More on the mark there, and they got him.
And that was definitely a great throw.
And that'll end the top of the second. And coming up for the Pacers, we will have Mitchell Price, John Banks, and Luke Westerberg as they trail 1-0. And welcome to the bottom of the second inning. Mitchell Price will lead it off for the Pacers. They trail North Georgia 1-0 here.
And Mitchell Price has shown that he can hit for power on occasion.
Definitely has some timely home runs as he hits a high fly ball into center field.
That's a heck of a shot. Great effort by the center fielder for North Georgia to get to that.
Tomlinson showing some speed there.
Got a little bit of that power I was talking about. He just missed it. That'll bring up Banks. Jonathan Banks up to the plate for the Pacers, third baseman.
Banks is batting .388 on the year. Has no home runs, but 21 RBIs. And Mitchell Price, since he got out so fast, weren't able to give his stats, is batting .302 on the year. 5 home runs and 25 RBIs.
First pitch just missing high for ball one.
And the 1-0. Right down the middle there for strike one. Evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, you look at Banks, he's built like a linebacker. You would think if he got a hold of one, he definitely has what it takes to get it out of this ballpark. That one's going to catch the outside edge of the plate to make the count 1-2.
Now, the fact that he's built the way he's built and doesn't have any home runs, it could be a benefit to him. Everybody's expecting the long ball, and he hits just a little blooper.
I don't know. I don't see him hitting a lot of bloopers, but he definitely hit some CNI singles.
So 1-2 the count to Banks.
That ball going to miss high there to even the count, 2-2.
And the 2-2 pitch, also going to be high, and the count is now full.
Just missing with that screwball. High.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss by Banks. And Banks down on strikes. That'll bring up Luke Westerberg.
Right fielder number 23, Luke Westerberg.
And Joe making up for his mispronunciation of Westerberg's name, giving a little extra ooh on the Luke.
Called him Luke Westerfield for the introductions today.
But we know who he is, and that's what matters most. Is that ball misses low and away for ball one.
Westerberg comes into today batting .214 and watches that pitch go by for strike one.
He took a good bit off that one. That one was half the pace as the first pitch.
Westerberg has 7 RBIs on the year as well. And the 1-1. That one's going to be grounded to short.
Or
and the throw over to first for the final out. So Pacers go down 1-2-3 as they still trail North Georgia 1-0 going into the top of the third. Welcome back, folks. We are in the top of the third inning. North Georgia leading USC Aiken 1-0. And Josh Profit will lead off. Didn't get to finish his at-bat from the second, as Devin Gearhart was caught going to second. That one's just going to nick Profit, and he'll go down to first as the leadoff man.
That looked like that might have caught him on the wrist a little bit, but he seems to be okay with it.
I think it just nicked his elbow. Umpire was motioning that it went on the elbow there. Either way, it's a hit batter. And we have the top of the order coming up with Eric Delgado. Struck out looking in the first.
And he's taking a big lead off first. He's going to get a throw from Eric Davis.
And they got him.
Yep.
A little too far off first base there. And that's the first out.
Nice snap throw by Davis. I saw that lead, and I was like, oh, you just asked him to throw it.
Almost looked like he kind of, when he went in for the slide, he just stopped in the dirt before the bag. And so there's one down, and then a grounder over to Ammerman at short. And the throw to first in time for the second out.
And Ammerman had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Made that play a little closer than it needed to be.
And skipping all the way across the infield practically. And that'll bring up Connor Hoover. Walked and has a stolen base today. Comes up with 2 quickly down in the top of the third inning. Show a bunt there as that pitch goes into the strike zone for strike one. Here's the 0-1. Another strike. And the count quickly 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one just a little bit low, and the count 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that was going to be fouled off. Keep us at a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one high. Curveball there didn't curve enough.
9. Didn't drop fast enough.
So that'll even the count at 2-2. Deuces wild.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that pitch again. And he tried to come at it.
Another foul ball there. Keep us at a 2-2 count. So Davis able to get the first guys out on pretty much one pitch, if you think about it. One pitch for each of them.
Not a bad average if you're a pitcher.
And the 2-2 again.
This guy stretching him out a little bit more. Is that one missing? We're 3-2.
I've also heard that a 3-2 count is also referred to as full.
Doesn't get more full than that.
And the 3-2. Grounded foul again. We're going to stay at that full count. And the 3-2 again, fouled off again.
Fighting to stay alive.
Another good battle between pitcher and hitter. And Davis deals. That one's lined into center field for a base hit. Another 2-out base hit here for North Georgia. Puts Hoover on first. And that'll bring up Sam Tida.
They seem to really like to start hitting around 2 outs.
And they did that back in the first inning. And also in the second inning, however, Gearhart, who got that 2-out base hit, was eventually caught stealing.
So Tida will step into the box. Awaits the pitch.
And another one hit into the gap in left center field. That'll be at least 2 as it goes to the wall. And that's probably going to score a run as Hoover rounds third. And there's going to be no play at the plate. So an RBI double for Tida increases the UNG lead to 0.
That was a great piece of hitting by Tida. He took that one to the gap, went all the second hop to the wall, and Price on his horse, but couldn't quite get there.
I'll bring up the first baseman, Trevor Sams, who has an RBI double that he hit back in the first inning. He comes up with a runner on second base and 2 down, nearing the top of the third inning of a 2-0 ball game. That's a high fly ball into shallow center field.
Price is going to call for it and squeeze it for out number 3, but not before North Georgia adds a run. They have 4 hits to our 2. We have no runs. As we get ready to head to the bottom of the third, we'll be right back.
And welcome to the bottom of the third inning. Pacers trail North Georgia 2-0. And Tyler Ammerman, the number 9 hitter, comes up. Here's the first pitch to Ammerman. In there for strike one. Ammerman's batting .250 on the year. Has 2 home runs, 17 RBIs, and the only triple for the Pacers this year as he swings and misses at the second pitch for strike 2. And the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be outside, trying to get him to chase. And the count 1-2. That one's going to catch the corner there, and Ammerman down looking for the first out.
Yeah, he's going to bring up Mercado to the plate.
Second baseman, Tyler Mercado.
Mercado flew out in his first at bat back in the first. Comes up with nobody on him, 1 down here in the third. That one just outside there for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Also going to be outside, or a quick 2-0 count. Just a little high there. Good pitch, but ball 3. That was definitely a borderline pitch if I've ever seen one. And the 3-0. And that one's going to be called ball 4.
That was awful close to a strike, but that'll bring Chaz Powell up to the plate.
The left fielder,
So a 4-pitch walk to Mercado, and Chaz Powell, who singled back in the first, comes up.
Chaz Powell manning up a little bit on his walk-up song.
First pitch to Powell. In the dirt and outside. Blocked by Tideback to keep Mercado over at first. 1-0 the count to Powell. That one right down the middle there. Count 1-1.
Powell would like to see another one of those. Probably won't, but he would welcome it if it came.
They're going to check out Mercado at first, who hustles back safely.
Mercado's not really off to a big lead. It was an easy just step back onto the bag.
I think they were hoping to catch him, not really paying too much attention in the middle of his lead.
Now he's stretched out a little bit.
Another check, and Mercado, once again, hustles back. There's the 1-1 to Powell.
That was a good-looking two-finger fastball that came back across the plate. Makes the count 1-2.
This time Mercado's going to dive back as they check on him.
I don't know if you noticed, but his right foot totally slipped in the sand. And that definitely increased his heart rate a little bit, trying to get back to the bag safely. You do not want to get picked off, especially when your team's already got one of their guys picked off.
Here's the 1-2. Powell's going to hit that one into right field, and
That's
that's going to
gonna
drop in for a base hit.
A good piece of hitting by Chaz Powell as Pereira comes up to the plate.
the first baseman, Brian Pereira.
Pereira also singled back on his first at-bat in the first inning. And he comes up with runners on first and second now with 1 down as the Pacers trail North Georgia 2-0. the scoreboard. I couldn't read what that was saying.
So runners on first and second. Pereira digs in. That would have been a nice one. Apparently called low for ball one.
Still looked like a nice pitch.
Yeah, and it took a little bit off of that one. Just couldn't get it to hit a spot. You do not want to get behind Pereira with runners on first and second.
And the 1-0. That one in the dirt. That one not a good pitch to swing at.
Tidyback doing a great job keeping that ball from getting back to the backstop.
So the count is 2-0 to Pereira. He steps back in. Outside, and the count is now 3-0. There's the 3-0 pitch. And that one's going to be in there for strike one.
Might see a slider right here. Depending on the pitcher's confidence in it.
And here's the 3-1. And
Pereira's in it with a two-finger.
That popped into left field, shallow left field. And a nice little catch, diving catch there for the second out. They're going to try to double up Mercado at second, but he makes it back in time.
Good hustle by the Nighthawk left fielder as he had to lay it out to catch that one for out number two. That'll bring up Zach Moon to the plate with runners on first and second. 2 outs here at the bottom of the third.
First pitch to Moon. He's going to hit one in the air into deep center field. It's going back, and that's going to be caught near the warning track for the final out. Pacers unable to bring their 2 runners home as they leave them stranded on first and second. Still trailing 2-0 going into the top of the fourth. Welcome to the top of the fourth inning. Nighthawks lead the Pacers 2-0 as we're set to see Stephen Tomlinson lead off the inning. He'll be followed by Ryan Tamita and Connor Corbett in the hole. Tomlinson struck out back in the first inning in his first at-bat, and he's going to swing and miss at the first pitch for strike one. And the 0-1 pitch, grounded foul.
That'll send their dugout dancing. He screams that one into the visiting dugout.
And the 0-2 pitch. That one's also going to be fouled off, out of play. Once again, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And Tomlinson down on strikes for the second time today.
Right fielder, Ryan Tomita.
That brings up Ryan Tomita. Flew out in the second inning on his first at-bat. First pitch going to catch the corner there for strike 1.
There, it really looks like he's throwing the ball well.
Hasn't had a bad game today.
That fastball was a little bit of explosive as it came across the plate.
Swing and a miss there. Got him with an off-speed pitch. And the count quickly 0-2.
So the 0-2 pitch.
Just going to miss outside for ball 1.
Schoen definitely framed that one for the umpire to get a good look at it, but was not looking to buy any art today.
And the 1-2. That one's going to be fouled off. And we'll redo that count.
Well, we know he's not going to get a hit. They need 2 outs before they start hitting.
This is true. When they've done the most damage today. And there's the second out, as down looking is Tomita. And that'll bring up Connor Corbett.
Now the Nighthawks are free to hit with 2 outs. Here at the top of the 4th, Connor Corbett comes to the plate.
And Corbett's also struck out in his first at-bat.
First pitch called strike.
Beat me to it.
I gave you a head start.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Again, trying to frame it, was showing another good pitch, but count is now 1-2.
You can put any kind of frame around that one you want. At 4 inches outside the strike zone is probably not going to get a call. Unless it's late in the game and scores out of control. A little off speed there, slips from his finger to even the count 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on, and a 2-0 game. That one's going to be fouled back to keep everything right where it is.
He set him up with 2 breaking balls. Might see a little heat here.
And there is some heat.
Just missing the inside corner of the plate. Boo birds are booing.
3-2 the count now after the fastball that missed. And a swing and a miss there. Got him with an off-speed pitch. And so Davis will strike out the side here in the top of the 4th inning, and Pacers come up looking to come back from a 2-0 deficit. And welcome to the bottom of the fourth inning. Pacers trail North Georgia 2-0. And coming up to the plate is Max Schoen. Flew out in the first inning on his first at-bat. He's going to watch a curveball go by for ball one. And here's the 1-0. That one going to catch a bit of the outside corner of the plate there for strike one to even the count up. And the 1-1 fouled off, and the count now 1-2. Coming into this game, Max Schoen was batting .537, the number 5 batting average in the nation for Division II, and number 1 in the Peach Belt Conference. Also has 4 home runs and 24 RBIs on the year. That one's going to be outside to give the count up at 2-2. And Schoen's going to hit one over the head of the second baseman and into right field for a base hit. And if Delgado was maybe a couple feet taller, he would have gotten that one, but it'll go over his head. And Schoen will lead off the fourth inning with a base hit. Coming up now, Mitchell Price flew out in his first at-bat in the second inning. And Price lays down a bunt there. And that's going to be an infield single there. Price beating out the bunt as it had took a really high hop. I have to wonder if they let that one go, if it would have been a foul ball. But that'll put runners on first and second base with nobody out and John Banks coming up. Banks struck out in his first time up. But now with 2 on, he has an opportunity to make up some of this deficit that the Pacers face. Not a big one, only 2-0, but a deficit nonetheless. First pitch to Banks is going to miss for ball one. Here's the 1-0. That one finds the strike zone and the count even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That one's going to miss. They're going to throw over to first to try to get Price, but he's able to dive back in time.
That was one of those ones where Price could have got caught had that pitch been a little bit closer to the strike zone, but obviously way high to Banks, and he was already on his way back to first. Good snap throw by the catcher, but not in time.
And Tideback proving he's good behind the plate. And that one's hit into the air into right field. That's going to be charged, and a diving.
And he doesn't
oh,
catch
no,
it.
Not a catch. And throw over into second is in time for the out.
And that was a bang-bang play at second. You might see Kenny Thomas come out and question that call. Price looked like he might have slid past the bag, though, in all fairness, because he was flying when he got there.
So Tamita made a good effort to try to catch that ball, was unable to, but a quick throw into second base will catch Price. However, the Pacers have runners on the corners with only one down.
And in Price's defense, he had to
wait to see if that ball was caught.
On, right? It was a good effort by the right fielder, but not in time. And we just got word that'll be ruled as a fielder's choice.
That one in the dirt. And count 1-0.
Westberg with runners on the corners, one out here at the bottom of the fourth.
And the 1-0. That one is going to be hit past the shortstop and into left field for an RBI base hit. Well, Westerberg drives in the first run of the day for the Pacers as they now trail only 2-1 here in the top of the fourth inning with runners on first and second and one out.
Good piece of hitting by the right fielder as he takes the lid off the scoreless basket.
That'll bring up Tyler Ammerman. Struck out his first time up. And we're going to have a little meeting on the mound here.
Haven't seen any workout in the bullpen. You see a whole slew of pitchers out there, but they're not throwing. So this is just a pep talk.
He's been having a good game so far.
And while they do that, we want to go ahead and thank Tyler's Tire and Auto Center for supporting the Pacers with their sponsorship. Also, Bronze Body Tanning Salon. Along with Denny Michaelis, meeting all our insurance needs here in the Aiken, South Carolina area, and South Carolina Education Lottery. Along with Quality Inn and Suites, and last but not least, Fats Cafe, host of the USC Aiken Coaches Corner.
Nice job getting in all of those in that short meeting on the mound.
Well, you know, you got to take opportunities when they're granted you. Otherwise, it's just a lot of silence.
Yes, but silence sometimes is golden.
I don't think you've ever struggled with that.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
So Hammerman will dig in. Runners on first and second. One out here, the bottom of the fourth.
That pitch going to miss. Slow and outside for ball one.
If it'll make you feel any better, I don't wrestle with sounds of silence too much either.
And here's the 1-0. That one's going to be popped up. And almost right back to the mound there.
That's going to be an infield fly rule and caught by the second baseman. A little bit of an acrobatic catch. That ball was moving around up there in the stratosphere.
Delgado made it look a little more intense than it really was. And that'll bring up Mercado with 2 down and 2 on. Mercado is 0 for 1 today with a walk. And he'll watch the first pitch go by for strike one. In the dirt. That count is going to be even up at 1-1.
Nyog catcher showing his prowess again, keeping that ball from getting to the backstop.
Tied it back good on getting those and keeping the balls in the dirt from getting between his legs there.
Very athletic back there behind the plate.
And here's the 1-1.
That one's just going to miss the inside corner. Looked almost identical to the first pitch called strike.
It took him a half a second there to call that ball too. Shows you just how close it was. But the count now 2-1 to Mercado. That one outside, and the count 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. High fly ball into right field. That's going
Aiken's
back.
got
It's
a
on the
chance.
track, and it's at the wall, and that is going to be
Just in
caught
track.
for the third out. A very well-hit ball there, and the wind was blowing in from right field. Have to think if that wasn't blowing, maybe it would have been gone. But it's the third out, and the Pacers do make up a run here as we go into the top of the fifth inning. And welcome to the top of the fifth inning. Pacers trailing 2-1. As that first pitch is going to miss for ball one. Gearhart leads off. Top of the fifth for the Nighthawks. That pitch is going to be in there for strike one to even the count up. And the 1-1. A little bit high there for ball two. And that one is going to be in there for strike two and count even at 2-2. Two-two pitch to Gearhart. He's going to ground that one into center field for a base hit. Leadoff man aboard for the Nighthawks, and that'll bring up Josh Profit. That's the second base hit of the night for Gearhart.
The left fielder, Josh Profit.
And show bunt here, and that's popped up into foul territory. And a nice job there by Schoen to go back there and grab that. He crashed into the wall. But that'll be the first out. So there'll be a runner on first with one down for the leadoff man, Eric Delgado. Delgado is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a groundout. Another show of bunt. Pulled back in time for ball one. There's the 1-0. Runner's going, and that's going to be grounded over to second. Not going to have a play at second, but the throw over to first in time for the second out.
Yeah, it's one of those nightmares where the ball is chopped so high that you're waiting desperately for it to come down. You want to make a double play out of it. But good job by Emmerman to turn it into an out all the same.
So with 2 down, a runner on second base, and that'll bring up Connor Hoover. 1 for 1 today with a single, a stolen base, a walk, and 2 runs scored.
Yeah, he's definitely in a good situation. All the components are there for the Nighthawk. 2 outs, runner on second.
This is when they start to produce.
It's when they have so far.
And the first pitch is in there for a call strike. And the 0-1. And that's going to be in there for a call strike, too. Kind of quickly, 0-2. Trying again with a curveball there, but it's going to miss high for ball 1.
That was a nice little throw. Had the trajectory been a little bit lower, might have got him to chase that one.
Quite possible. So here's the 1-2. And that's going to be fouled off.
And he's going to lose his handle of his bat as it sails back to the backstop.
The ball goes one way, the bat goes the other.
Well, the wind has died, and it has made the humidity factor here increase significantly. Just that little bit of lack of breeze that we were enjoying earlier.
That's why you got to put a little pine tar on your bat. 1-2 pitch in the dirt.
That's going to even the count, 2-2.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second, 2-1 the score here in the top of the 5th inning, as that one's going to be grounded to Ammerman at short. The long throw over to first in time for the final out. The Pacers going into the bottom of the 5th inning, still trailing 2-1, and we're going to see Chaz Powell, Brian Pereira, and Zach Moon come up very shortly. Chaz Powell to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Pacers as they trail the Nighthawks 2-1. Powell 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles. First pitch is going to miss low for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch. I'll miss outside for ball 2.
Just missing outside. Here's
the 2-0. And that one just going to catch a bit of the corner there for strike one. Two-one pitch.
Nice pitch there. Took a lot off of it. Some would think he missed the outside corner of the plate. The home plate umpire differs in his opinion, making the count 2-2.
2-2 to Pell. That one just missing. And the count now 3-2. Call time here as Pal steps out of the box.
I'm looking down over the right field picnic area, and there's a young man bouncing a soccer ball off the visiting team dugout. I'm wondering if they hear it as he swings and misses there for strike three. And that's going to bring up
The first baseman,
Brian Pereira.
Pereira 1 for 2 today with a single. First pitch to Pereira is going to miss outside for ball one.
This pitcher's got a nice two-seamer that he throws. He seems to lose a little bit of it on the outside. Flares away.
Now the 1-0. Pereira will follow that off.
Tighten that one up pretty nice.
Down even now to Pereira at 1-1.
Good looking pitch there called strike. 1-2 is the count. And we got a ball on the field, and it does not look like a baseball. It's a yellow soccer ball that I was talking about earlier, and it looks like they're going to hold on to it. It must have been dropping them a notch a little bit, bouncing out the back of their dugout.
I don't think they'll be getting that ball back anytime soon.
Hey, we're back in business. Pereira digs back in and waits the 1-2 pitch.
That one's going to be grounded over to first, and real high hopper there. And a flip over to Agard for the second out.
That took a funny bounce. Good effort by the first baseman to.
And nice job by Sams there to stay with that. Helps that he's pretty tall guy, able to snag it on its way up.
That's going to bring up Zach Moon to the plate.
It says here Sams is 6'4". Certainly doesn't look it. It's a lot taller than that.
He's right up there with Pereira. A lot of tall first basemen in this conference.
First pitch to Moon. Catch the inside part of the plate for strike one.
Moon definitely lit up on that one a little bit. I think that one tickled his fancy.
0-1 to Moon. He's going to hit that one into left field for a base hit. Pacers looking for a two-out rally of their own here as Moon gets a single.
The catcher, Max Schoen.
That'll bring up Max Schoen. 1 for 2 today with a single and the only run scored for the Pacers today.
Matt Schoen is in the top 5 ball hitters, the D2 level.
Certainly an impressive bat. And the first pitch to Schoen is in there for strike one. Oh, 0-1 pitch, fouled off, and the count quickly 0-2.
In fact, Max Schoen leads the Peach Belt Conference by 38. .38. So he's having a heck of a year at the plate.
There's the 0-2. Inside, and Moon on his way to second. The throw is more than enough in time.
And Moon's not one to steal a lot of bases, but that one's not going to be one of them as he is tagged out to retire the side. So the Pacers trail 2-1. We have 7 hits. They have 5, but they've maximized theirs a little bit better than ours as we get ready to head
6th
to
inning.
the top of the 6th. Trailing 2-1.
And we are in the top of the 6th inning. North Georgia leads the USC Aiken Pacers 2-1. Catcher for today's game, Sam Tideback, comes up. He has an RBI double for his troubles today. He's 1 for 2.
First pitch missing low for ball 1.
That one's going to be
Long
hit.
Shot into center field. Price on his horse, and he's going to go to the warning track right at the wall. Great catch by Price. This is going to bring up the first baseman for the Nighthawks.
Trevor Sam's also an RBI double today, as he's also 1 for 2. Comes up with 1 down and nobody on. First pitch, fouled off. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. Curveball's going to miss. And the count is even at 1-1.
That ball missing low. And just missing to make the count 2-1.
2-1 pitch. That one's going to be fouled back.
And Eric Davis threw that thing hard when you see it fouled straight back like that.
And with that, the count is even again, this time at 2-2. Another fly ball into center field. And Price tracks it down and makes the catch for the second out.
The center fielder, Stephen Tomlinson.
Brings up Stephen Tomlinson. Struck out twice today. He's 0 for 2. And he's going to foul the first pitch off for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. Curveball just missing. And the count even at 1-1. Another high fly ball. That's going to just barely get into right field. And Mercado makes the catch for the final out. A 1-2-3 inning here. And the Pacers go into the bottom of the 6th inning, still trailing 2-1. And welcome to the bottom of the 6th inning. Max Schoen is going to lead off to finish his at-bat, which was interrupted as Moon was caught trying to steal second. Once again, Schoen is 1 for 2 today with a single and a run scored. Comes up with the Pacers trailing 2-1 and takes a first pitch ball. And the 1-0. Check swing, but it's going to catch the corner anyway for strike one. Adjusting the lighting on the camera there. No need to panic.
Thought my eyes were healed all of a sudden.
And the 1-1 pitch. Outside. Thought about going for it, but held back. And the count now 2-1. And that's going to be hit into center field and drop in for a base hit. Second base hit of the night for Schoen.
Continuing his hot hitting ways as Mitchell Price comes to the plate for the Pacers.
Mitchell Price.
Price 1 for 2 today. As a single and flew out.
And you got a little action over there in the Nighthawk bullpen. Pacers pretty dormant out there.
Some stretching going on. Other than that, not much going.
Either that or he's trying to land a plane.
It does look like that. Or he's practicing a wave of one. Check on first. Safe.
That was a close call, and Nighthawk fans have reason to get a little excited. But Sean will get the benefit of the doubt, and he'll remain at first. Jonathan Banks on deck.
First pitch to Price. Shows bunt, pulls back, but it's in there for strike one. Another check on Schoen at first. Not much of a lead. He kind of just falls over and makes it back to the bag. 0-1 pitch. Price lays down a bunt, and it's bunted foul.
And that pitcher took a lot off that ball. It was easy to get around on it and foul it down the left field line. Makes the count 0-2.
Now the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be fouled off again. And keep the count at 0-2. And again, checking on Schoen, who dives back safely.
He's showing a lot of attention to our catcher. Of course, you're going to want to do that as he is the tying run at this moment.
That one grounded up the middle and over the head of the shortstop on a weird hop. As Schoen digs for third, and he's going to make it in there safely. And Price moves over to second on the throw. So a good bit of hitting there by Price puts runners on second and third with nobody out.
And that ball hit the edge of the infield dirt and the grass, and it just took a funny bounce. Shortstop didn't have a chance.
Yeah, you have to think if that ball didn't hop, that could have been two.
Yeah, I was looking at that as a possible double play ball, even with all that speed. But showing some speed as he rounded second. Of course, Price ended up on second pretty quickly.
He's sure has the speed for that.
Yeah, but that's going to bring Jonathan Banks up to the plate for the Pacers with runners on second and third with no outs here at the bottom of the sixth.
That was a strikeout and a reached on a fielder's choice earlier. You could argue that fielder's choice that he hit could have been a hit, as it was a tough play. So Banks digs in and awaits his first pitch. And he's going to watch one go down the middle there for strike one. And we're going to have another little meeting between pitcher and catcher. Probably going over the signs as Price sits over on second base. Also possibly gives the Nighthawks a little more time to get their bullpen going a bit more. But 0-1 is the count to Banks. And Banks fouls that one off to make the count 0-2.
So the 0-2 pitch.
A little high there, and count now 1-2.
Well, it was right at his eyes, easy to see.
One, 2 from Agar. And that's going to miss, even the count up at 2-2.
So the 2-2 pitch.
Another high one. That's going to make the count full. Good at bat here by Banks, who went down 0-2 quickly and has managed to be patient enough to get the count full.
With Westerberg on deck, we've got some strong possibilities here for the Pacers.
And the 3-2 pitch. That's going to be grounded slowly to third. Runners are going to stay right where they are. Throw over to first in time for the first out.
He just caught that one off the handle and two hopped it to third. Easy play
Westerberg.
I'll bring up Luke Westerberg, 1 for 2 today. Also has the only RBI for the Pacers.
A little bit more urgency over there in the Nighthawk bullpen. You got 2 pitchers up there throwing, a lefty and a righty. Pacers still on chill mode.
Well, they got to be thinking Eric Davis has been having a good night. First pitch to Westerberg, hitting the air and out of play, foul.
Yeah, ball
Inside.
Yeah, got him hopping back a little bit there to even the count 1-1.
So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on second and third for Westerberg at the plate, as the Pacers trail North Georgia 2-1, bottom of the 6th inning. That one's going to be hit foul. That made the count 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Bit high, evens the count at 2-2. Two pitch. Popped up into foul territory on the first base side. And that's going to be caught by Sams for the second out.
Guys are going to bring up Ammerman to the plate.
Shortstop, Tyler Ammerman.
Ammerman has struck out and popped into an infield fly today for an 0-2 count. 0-2 count. 0-2 at bat. Whatever that is. First pitch to Ammerman. Low for ball 1. One 0 pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. You can get away, but the runners are going to stay put as it's not far enough to warrant them moving. A 2-0 the count to Ammerman as he's got runners on second and third and 2 outs. That pitch is going to find the strike zone for strike 1. Two 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss on that one. The count even up at 2-2. Foul back, and Ammerman's going to stay in there with a 2-2 count. Another foul ball there, and the count's going to stay right where it is at 2-2. Once again, the 2-2 pitch popped up behind the plate and in the stands. Out of play.
Would have been impressive had that guy dove for it. He would have landed 2 stories below, but it would have been a great catch.
I've seen it happen in games, though. They managed to dive and fall 2 stories and stand right up. However, I don't really think the guy wants to risk it.
Not worth it.
No. Have to give the ball back anyway. 2-2 pitch.
If he could. That one missing outside to make the count full, 3-2.
I feel like they'd give him the ball if he managed to do something like that. So the count full to Ammerman with 2 outs and 2 on. Bottom of the 6th inning. Pacers trailing by 1. And another foul ball there.
Welcome to Foulapalooza 2016, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of battling going on. Hagar throwing strong. Holding this offense down to 1 run here this late in the game. You gotta give him credit.
And a swing and a miss there ends the Pacer threat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As we go into the top of the 7th, they're still trailing 2-1.
For Breakaway and Fats Cafe, this is a 30-second radio spot titled $1 Million Poppy Seed Rolls Dinner Deal.
Every time you come into Fats Cafe, you get a big basket of our famous warm poppy seed rolls. People ask us all the time, these taste like $1 million. Why would you give them away for free? The simple answer is, well, it's a good question. What are we doing?
Don't worry, our poppy seed rolls will always be free. Complement them with one of a dozen delicious dinner entrees for under $10, like our deep dish chicken pot pie. Fats Cafe. Feed your soul.
For Breakaway and Fats Cafe.
And we are entering the top of the 7th inning. North Georgia leads USC Aiken 2-1. And Ryan Tamita will lead it off for the Nighthawks. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Eric Davis is staying in there on the mound. Has had a very effective night. And that first pitch is going to miss high for ball 1. Only giving up 5 hits on 2 runs and has 6 strikeouts tonight. And the 1-0 is also going to miss for ball 2. 2-0 pitch. I'll be in there for strike one. Two-one pitch is going to fall in for strike two. And in the count up. Two-two pitch to Tamita, and he's going to swing and miss at that one, and that's the 7th strikeout of the night for Davis, and the first out of this 7th inning.
Pitch hitter for the designated hitter is number 6, Cal Dempsey.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Connor Corbett. Cal Dempsey is the new batter. He's batting 167 on the year, no home runs and 1 RBI, and he'll take the first pitch for ball one. And the 1-0 pitch. Finds the strike zone there to even the count up. One pitch. Missing high and outside for ball two. Two-one. That's fouled off. Evens the count of 2-2. And the 2-2. That's going to be high, and the count now full. Three-two pitch outside and ball four. So Cal Dempsey will walk to put a runner on first with one down.
The third baseman, Devin Gearhart.
And Devin Gearhart coming to the plate. 2 for 2 today with 2 singles, and was also caught stealing on one of those singles. Check on the runner at first, and they got him. So Dempsey will get picked off, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So Gearhart now has 2 down and nobody on here in the top of the 7th inning of a 2-1 ball game. That's the second pickoff of the night for Davis, so he's having a great night. As that one's hitting the air into right field, Westerberg tracking it down, and he will make the catch for the final out. So 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 7th. Pacers still trailing 2-1, but Skylar Mercado, Chaz Powell, and Brian Pereira are due up after the 7th inning stretch. And we are in the bottom of the 7th inning after that 7th inning stretch with the top of the order and Skylar Mercado leading off as the Pacers still trail North Georgia 2-1. Mercado is 0 for 2 today with a walk, and he's going to watch the first pitch go by, 4-1. And a moment here before the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be high, and the count now 2-0. Here's the 2-0 from Ager, and that one's going to be grounded foul. And count now 2-1. And that one also fouled off to even the count up at 2-2 on Mercado. And fouled off again by Mercado to keep the count at 2-2. That one in the dirt, and now the count is full to Mercado. Three-two pitch, and Mercado's going to swing and miss at that one for the first strikeout of the inning and the first out of the inning.
Left fielder, Chaz Powell.
And Chaz Powell steps to the plate now. 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles and a strikeout. And the first pitch to Powell, fouled back and into the mesh for strike one. Oh, and pitch outside to even the count at 1-1. And that one's going to be fouled off as well, and the count now 1-2 to Powell. One-two pitch, swing and a miss by Powell, and the second strikeout of the inning. And now Pereira comes up with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch to Pereira is in there for a strike. Pereira 1 for 3 today with a single.
Moon on deck. Not a bad little 1-2 punch here.
Best opportunity to tie this
Bottom
ball
of the
game
7th,
right
that's
here.
Right.
0-1 pitch, bit outside there, and the count even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And that'll be fouled back in the count.
Big cut by Pereira there.
And you can tell he wanted to send that one out of here. But the count is 1-2.
Very little wind blowing. He's got the power to do it. And that right field, I keep saying, it is a alleyway for long balls.
He's sent a few of them out there this season. Here's the 1-2. And another swing and a miss. And 1-2-3 inning. All strikeouts for the Pacers here in the 7th inning. We're going into the top of the 9th. They still trail 2-1. And welcome to the top of the 8th inning. Josh Profit will lead it off for North Georgia. They're still leading 2-1. Not 2-0. That first pitch is going to miss for ball 1.
Eric Davis showing marathon ability out here today.
And that one's in there for strike 1 to even the count up. And he's in the pitched 7 full innings. He's only given up 2 runs and 5 hits, but this has certainly been a good pitcher's duel as that one fouled off for a 1-2 count. And it seems to me that Brandon Ager, the starting pitcher for North Georgia, he's gotten better as the game has gone on. He's getting more strikeouts.
I was predicting that we'd start lighting him up around the 3rd or 4th the way he was throwing, but he stepped it up. And
I mean, he struck out the side in this last half of the inning and now has 6 strikeouts on the night. 6 or 7, actually. That pitch is going to miss, and the count now even at 2-2. That one going to be lined in a nice little diving catch there by Ammerman to steal a base hit from Profit.
And he was laid out parallel to the ground with that catch. Great effort by the shortstop.
And you need that in a close game.
You can't say enough about this shortstop coming in behind Sean Miller, who had 4 great years here as a Pacer and is now playing pro ball. Those are big shoes to follow, and he's done his part.
That's all you can ask for. And that one's going to be bunted over to third base. Throw by Banks is a little off the mark, but Pereira with a nice stretch and grab there for the second out.
A little effort by John Banks as he sidearms that to first. He had to, otherwise he doesn't have a shot at him.
So Delgado will go down, and that'll bring up Connor Hoover. Hoover is 1 for 2 today. 2 runs scored, a single, a walk, a stolen base, and a ground out. Comes up with 2 down and nobody on. Swing and a miss there for strike 1. And the 0-1. Bit high, and the count even at 1-1. That one in the dirt, and the count now 2-1. Also going to be a bit low there, and the count 3-1. And that's going to be high for ball 4.
And he kind of chucked his bat back at his. Almost hit his man on deck.
And tied it back. The tied it back comes up after the 2-out walk. And Kenny Thomas is going to run out there. And he's going to make a call to the bullpen here. The last we've seen of Eric Davis, who's had an incredible night. He's going to leave this inning with a runner on first, 2 outs, and a 2-run deficit.
So great job by Eric Davis. He did his job as well as you could ask him to do it. Credit the Nighthawks for their offensive prowess as they are able to get 2 runs off Eric Davis.
So we're going to take a short break here as the new Pacer pitcher warms up. We'll be right back. And welcome back, folks. Connor Riley comes in relief of Eric Davis. And his first opponent will be Sam Tideback, the catcher. As an RBI double and is 1 for 3 today as he fouls the first pitch out for strike 1. Riley comes into this game with a runner on first base and 2 down. And that one is going to go over the head of Tideback, very close to hitting him. And moving over to second on the wild pitch is Connor Hoover. Riley comes into this game with a 6.16 ERA, a win-loss record of 2-1 in his 4 starts, 8 appearances. Also has 21 strikeouts on the year. And 1-1 the count to Tideback with a runner on second base and 2 down. one just going to miss there, and the count now 2-1. Two-on pitch is going to be hit into right field and right at Westerberg, who catches it for the final out of the inning. So we're going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Pacers still trailing 2-1, looking to get that run back. We're going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Pacers trailing North Georgia 2-1. And the Pacers have the batter that they want in this kind of a situation in Zach Moon. Team leader in home runs, tied with Pereira at 7, and the solo team leader in RBIs at 28. And here's the first pitch from the new pitcher, Chris Cobb, who comes in relief of Brandon Ager, who had a spectacular outing with 7 strikeouts in his 7 innings pitched. 1-0 is the count to Moon. And the count now 2-0. Back to Ager. In his 7 innings of pitching, he had, again, 7 strikeouts, only 1 run on 9 hits. And the 2-0 to Moon. Catching a bit of the plate there for strike 1.
And some of those Pacer Boo Birds. I think I heard the word meathead from Archie Bunker days.
Well, it's better than some things they could call him. And the 2-1 pitch is a swing and a miss by Moon, and to even the count up at 2-2.
If he makes any contact with that ball, I don't think this park will hold it. He swung big, came out of his shoes on that swing.
You certainly know he's looking to tie this game up with one swing of the bat.
And he can do it. And I hope that's not what he's trying to do, because that's when he tends to struggle when he's swinging for the long ball.
That one going to miss, and the count now full.
That was a great-looking pitch, just missing the outside corner of the plate, tailing away.
Moon really has to do is try to get on base because he got Max Schoen on deck.
Right, Max Schoen. Well, as long as Moon doesn't try to steal second. And it worked out well his last attempt. Not saying he can't do it, but
3-2 pitch is going to be pop foul and out of play.
Moon fighting that one off, staying alive. Moon calls for time as the pitcher was taking a little extra time getting the call from the catcher. So we'll start all over. Payoff pitch.
And foul tipped, so Moon staying in there. You're definitely looking at a power swing there by Moon.
Yeah,
I mean, every time that bat is swung, the flag kind of flutters a little bit out there in center field, it seems.
And if this kid's got a changeup, this would be a pretty nasty time to use it.
It would be just dirty, but effective. Once again, the 3-2 pitch, fastball, swing and a miss for strike 3. So Moon down on strikes. And that'll bring up Max Schoen. Schoen is 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles and the only Pacer run scored. Comes up with one down and nobody on. And he's going to hit one into the gap there in right center field.
And that was right off the end of the bat. And that probably stung the fingertips a little bit, but I think he'll take it all day long as Mitchell Price comes to the plate with a runner on first, one out here at the bottom of the ninth.
And Max Schoen
bottom of the eighth, I apologize.
Max Schoen 3 for 4 today, keeping that average right where it is and moving it up a little bit. And Mitchell Price steps up, 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles. And the first pitch to Price is going to barely hit the plate there for strike 1.
Little slider. Got the meathead calls.
Pacer fans not very happy with that call.
I wonder if they think the umpire actually adjusts his calls based on the heckling.
I don't know.
It's a barrage thrown at this umpire. And it's really just a couple of Pacer fans that
they're very vocal, though.
They're notorious for it.
Every game I hear them yelling. Even if the Pacers are killing the opponent, it's they're still going to yell. 0-1 the count to Price now as they're going to check over on Schoen again.
And he'll dive in safely. You appreciate their enthusiasm, their passion for Pacer baseball.
But the thing is, that's just part of the game. If you're not yelling at the umpire, something's wrong.
I've never met an umpire that was right.
0-1 pitch to Price, going to be outside.
100% of the time.
There you go. Sometimes they get it right.
50%. When it's in my favor, I couldn't agree more. There are those that might say I'm biased in my opinions. I can argue.
Well, you have every right to be.
I live in America. So the 1-1 pitch.
That's going to be a high hopper over to short. They're going to try to turn 2 here. There's one, but with Price's speed, he's going
to first.
Exactly, no throw to first because Price just has the speed to make it there in time.
And I'll bring up John Banks.
Banks is 0 for 3 today. Fielder's choice strikeout and a ground out. Comes up with Price on first and 2 down. With Price's speed in this kind of situation, I would not be surprised if he takes off for second. And they're going to check on him at first. They're thinking the same thing.
Well, a guy like that, you got to keep him honest. You do not want to give him an extra step.
You're going to have to watch throwing off speed pitches here, too, because that extra time it takes to get to the plate could mean the difference. Another check on Price at first. And here's the first pitch to Banks, and that falls in for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. That'll find the strike zone again, and the count quickly 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Price on first, and Banks at the plate. Pacers trailing in the bottom of the 8th inning, 2-1.
Oh, 2 pitch.
Price takes off, and that one's going to be grounded foul, so he's going to have to go right back. And I got to check on Price again. So I'll have to wait for Banks' 0-2 pitch. And I'm going to change out balls here. Oh, and 2 the count to Banks, with 2 down and a runner on first. That one just going to miss outside. Definitely trying to get him to chase there, but the count is 1-2. One-two pitch is going to be hit into the air into left field for a base hit. That's going to go to the wall, and that could be trouble. Price is going to make it into third. They're waving him around third. Here he comes. There's going to be a throw at the plate. Price dives. He's safe. The tie game here in the bottom of the 8th inning on an RBI double by Jonathan Banks.
Jonathan Banks definitely stepping up his effort. And I got to compliment you on that call. I got hair on my all over just standing up. And what a great piece of hitting by John Banks, and the Pacers are finally able to.
That was definitely an exciting one there. I'm just on the edge of my seat watching that one go down.
And we got ourselves a new ball game, ladies and gentlemen, as we still got an out to go. Our own little rally here as Westerberg comes up to the plate with runner in score position at second.
And we're going to have a moment here as they're going to go ahead and talk on the mound.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments where you just want to go out there and remind your pitcher he's got what it takes to get it done. And
it's only a tie ball game. There's 2 outs. It's not over yet.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, it's not about the pitcher. It's about the hitter who just made an exceptional play on the ball. And John Banks definitely got a piece of that one, did everything he needed to do.
And you have the speedy Price on first, which is always a good thing. And
yeah.
Right there.
Very fortuitous for the Pacers. No pitching change needed, but you definitely got a couple of pitchers up in the bullpen for both teams right now. You got a righty-lefty for the Nighthawks, and looks like, well, we just got one throwing right now.
One righty.
He's a righty.
So Westerberg comes to the plate, 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI single. And he has Jonathan Banks over on second base.
A good hustle by the left fielder of the Nighthawks to get out there, and that ball, the way it came off the wall, could have easily been a triple.
First pitch is going to fall into the strike zone for strike 1. Oh, 1 the count as Westerberg steps back into the box.
If Westerberg can get something down the right field line, we'll be leading 3-2.
And they're going to throw back to second there. Almost got him there.
Yeah, the pitcher threw that to the wrong side of the bag. Otherwise, that
would have been an out. That would
yeah.
have certainly been an out. Oh, 1 pitch to Westerberg, and he's going to foul that one off. And count 0-2. And stepping off the rubber again, trying to get into Banks' head there. The flow of this game has just completely changed after the RBI double. Things seem to be a little bit slower now. And the 0-2 pitch, grounded to short. And there's the throw to first in time for the final out of the inning. But Jonathan Banks gets the job done with an RBI double as we go into the top of the 9th inning, a tie game at 2-2. And we're going into the top of the 9th inning, a tie ball game at 2 apiece. And Trevor Sams comes up to the plate for Georgia for the Nighthawks. Nick Jost is the new pitcher for the Pacers, coming in relief of Chris Kopp. First pitch is going to be high for ball one.
Jobs definitely comes in with a high heater.
And here's the 1-0. Catching the inside part of the plate for strike one. I was talking to one of the fans a couple days ago, and they were talking about Jobs, and they said that on the radar gun, one of his pitches malfunctioned. It had it malfunction, and it read 150 miles an hour. And I'm like, are you sure that's a malfunction? Swing and a miss on the 1-1 pitch for strike two.
He's throwing it hard right now. You almost have to start swinging the bat before he lets go of it if you're going to catch up with it. You can probably relax out there in left field because getting around on this ball would be pretty impressive.
And that one on the outside part of the plate, and down looking goes Sams for the first out of the ninth.
The center fielder, number 30, Steven Tomlinson.
That's going to bring up Tomlinson to the plate for the Nighthawks.
0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Comes up with nobody on and 1 down. Swing and a miss on that one.
Jobs is throwing hard right now.
Well, he's probably really pumped. Trying to get out of this top of the ninth inning with no score. Give the Pacers a chance to walk it off in the ninth. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Got him with a little bit of an off-speeder there.
He was still way out in front of it.
Oh, 2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And 2 down very quickly here on back-to-back strikeouts.
The right fielder, number 24.
It's interesting you watch the batter that just struck out walking past the upcoming batter, and not a word was spoken. I think they both know. They're just good luck.
That's all you can say.
That's the best you got. That's my tip. Good luck.
So Ryan Tomita, the right fielder, comes up 0 for 3, also with a pair of strikeouts today. First pitch is going to miss a bit low for ball one. The 1-0, a swing and a miss there. Count even at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. A little bit high there, and count now 2-1. Two-one from Jobst. Swing and a miss there. Count even at 2-2. With a guy like Jost, you basically just have to guess at your swing.
Everything looks like a practice swing.
You got to kind of swing there and just hope you make contact with it. And if you do, there's a good chance it's going to go. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Jost strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down, and we're going into the bottom of the ninth inning. Tie game, 2-2. And we are in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-2 is the score, and Tyler Ammerman will lead it off for the Pacers. You can thank this 2-2 score, and you can thank Jonathan Banks for that. Jonathan Banks with the the double, the RBI double, to tie this ball game up in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's the first pitch to Ammerman. That's going to catch a bit of the plate there for strike one.
A little startling difference between this young man and Jobst.
After watching Jobst just throwing heat, a little weird seeing a curveball come in. That one's going to be fouled off. And count now 0-2. Ammerman 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts and infield fly.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it. He's due for a hit right about now.
That's what they say.
Me, myself, and I. That ball way high.
I usually, if I was a pitcher, I would be a little more nervous facing somebody who's 0 for on the day instead of somebody who's constantly hitting. A 1-2 the count to Ammerman. And a swing and a miss there, and Ammerman down on strikes for the 3rd time today.
Bring up Skylar Mercado to the plate.
Mercado is 0 for 3 today with a walk back in the 3rd. That pitch outside for ball 1. Count 1-0. One-0 pitch. Just going to miss a little bit outside there, and the count 2-0. Swing and a miss there, and the count now 2-1. Swing and a miss again by Mercado, leaving the count up at 2-2. Almost looks like Mercado's trying to go yard.
Timeout called by Mercado as he adjusts his gloves.
Here is the 2-2 from Cobb. A little bit high there, and now the count is full. And the 3-2 pitch. Outside, and Mercado draws a walk. So the winning run is at first base as Chaz Powell comes to the plate. Powell is 2 for 4 today with a pair of singles and a pair of strikeouts.
It looks like we're going to have a pitch runner from Mercado.
Pitch running for the Pacers, number 9, Joey Smithers.
They're going to have Joey Smithers go out there. Pinch run for Mercado.
Smithers, a South Aiken product.
That would be my alma mater.
Go T-Breads.
So Chaz Powell comes out with a runner on first and only one down here in the bottom of the 9th inning of a 2-2 game. And we're going to have a moment here, and they're going to go ahead and have a meeting on the mound.
Man, you might see a pitch and change right here. They've got some guys.
And the bullpen just kind of standing around right now, so
they're waiting for a call and
don't need any time to warm up.
his coach is gonna Have a few words. Well, it looks like he's just having a little chat with his pitcher.
Really going
Maybe
over.
buying a little bit of time, but I don't see the pitchers in the bullpen taking advantage of it. They haven't thrown a ball since he walked out of the dugout. Well, he gives Chaz Powell a chance to talk to his coach. Umpire is going to go out there and scuttle this little on-the-mound meeting. And he splits them all up, and everybody goes back to their respective spots.
Once again, 1 out, 1 on. Chaz Powell at the plate. Tie game 2-2. And they're going to go ahead and check on Smithers at first, who dives back safely. And the pitch to Powell in the dirt for ball 1. A good job there by Tita Balk. Taking a lot of time here in between pitches, much to the fans' displeasure. And the 1-0 pitch, just going to miss outside for ball 2. Two-zero pitch to Powell. That's going to be a high fly ball. It's going to stay in the infield. And that'll be caught for the second out.
That's going to bring up Ryan Pereira up to the plate.
First baseman, Brian Pereira.
Pereira 1 for 4 today with a single.
And just like that, we're going to have another little meeting between the catcher and the pitcher. Definitely appreciating the gravity of the situation. Pereira, who has his moments of hits, and all of a sudden the coach is coming out, and it's going to be a pitch and change here. So with that, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
This is a 30-second radio spot titled $1 Million Poppy Seed Rolls Dinner Deal.
Every time you come into Fats Cafe, you get a big basket of our famous warm poppy seed rolls. People ask us all the time, these taste like $1 million. Why would you give them away for free? The simple answer is, well, it's a good question. What are we doing?
Don't worry, our poppy seed rolls will always be free. Complement them with one of a dozen delicious dinner entrees for under $10, like our deep dish chicken pot pie. Fats Cafe. Feed your soul.
For Breakaway and Fats Cafe.
And we are back, folks. Bottom of the ninth inning, 2 outs, 1 on, 2-2 ball game. Brian Pereira at the plate, and the new pitcher for North Georgia is Taylor Kynat.
There's like a hard throwing lefty.
So a lefty on lefty matchup here. And the first pitch is going to find the strike zone for strike one.
There's a good looking little slider there. It's kind of a bold throw. Throw a slider, lefty slider to a lefty hitter.
And the 0-1 pitch. High fly ball into center field.
That one's not going to have the distance as the center fielder is able to range in and
Left
retire
top.
to the side. But Pacers are tied up 2-2 as we head to the
Top of the 10th
Top of the
inning.
10th.
Extra innings.
Why
Comes right
not do
up.
extra? We'll be right back.
And we are in the top of the 10th inning, 2-2 the score, and Cal Dempsey comes out to lead it off. Came in to pinch hit for Connor Corbett. And he's going to watch the first pitch go by for strike one. Jope's still on the mound for the Pacers. Oh, 1 pitch in there for strike two. Oh, 2 pitch a bit low for ball one. There's the 1-2. Just a little bit outside there. Even the count up at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Grounded over to short. And Ammerman is unable to come up with it as it bounces in and out of his glove. And so Dempsey will make it over to first on the E6 to put the leadoff runner on early.
And this is our third extra inning game of the year. We're 2-0 in extra innings. A 5-4 win in 10 innings versus Lincoln Memorial. 5-4 win, 11 innings against Francis Marion.
And a show a bunt here early by Gearhart as he bunts it beautifully down the first base line. And Pereira will just tag him out as he makes his way down to first. But the sacrifice is successful as Dempsey makes it over to second with 1 out.
The pinch hitter, number 28, Taylor Jones.
And Taylor Jones will come into pinch hit for Josh Profit. Jones batting .200 on the year with 1 home run and 6 RBIs. That one's going to be high and outside for ball 1.
And Yobes isn't used to throwing a whole lot of pitches in any given outing. In fact, using him tonight means that at best we might get some use out of him Sunday.
And the 1-0, also high and outside, and ball 2.
And he's starting to miss, trying to put a little extra something on it. And ball's tailing away from the strike zone for a 2-0 pitch count.
In there for strike 1. So 2-1 the count with 1 down and a runner on second base. The 2-1 pitch. High and outside again, 3-1 the count.
This North Georgia team is no stranger to the diamond, as their softball team won the national title last year. Pitcher of the year was Courtney Poole. Sorry about that. Courtney Poole. Says a lot. Here at USC Aiken, we've got some pretty stud pitchers ourselves.
And the 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss there, and now the count is full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on second. Ball game tied 2-2 here in the top of the 10th inning. And inside for ball 4, and that's a big walk here.
Well, it's actually not that bad because, I mean, right now we're now in a double play situation, whereas before we didn't have a whole lot of shot at it.
All right, that's going to draw a talk at the mound here.
And no, I don't see anybody up in the bullpen for the Pacers right now, which is kind of odd. They may be saying, we want Yost to ride this out. I mean, they definitely want to end it quick. A whole lot of strategizing going on. A little meeting on the mound and a little meeting over down the left field line with the Nighthawks.
So with that, we'll see Eric Delgado. 0 for 4 today. He comes in with 2 on and only 1 out. As you're saying, the double play, conventional double play is now in order. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we see possible double steal try here.
Well, you might see a bunt ever right here, too, to move the runners to second and third.
And that one is in there for strike 1.
Looked like he took a little bit off that one. Had a little bit of bend to it.
Every now and again, he's able to throw one of those in there. And here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss there for strike 2.
Something on the inside corner of the plate right now would be pretty nice, or come up high and trying to get them to chase something.
And here's the 0-2 pitch. Runners are going. Swing and a miss there for the strikeout. However, we're going to see Dempsey move over from second to third. But with 2 down, there's going to be runners on the corners for Connor Hoover. Here's the first pitch to Hoover. Just going to miss outside for ball 1. Hoover is 1 for 2 today. 2 walks, 2 runs scored, a single, and a ground out. And the 1-0 pitch. In there for a call strike to even the count up at 1-1. And the 1-1. High and outside for ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's going to be fouled off, even the count up once again at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners on first and third in a 2-2 ball game. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the Pacers get out of the jam as we go into the bottom of the 10th inning. Still a tie game at 2. And we are in the bottom of the 10th inning. Zach Moon, the designated hitter, is going to lead it off for the Pacers. A couple of defensive changes for North Georgia. They have moved Tomita, over to left field, and they have brought in Kevin Krupp into right field. First pitch to Moon is high for ball 1. And here's the 1-0 pitch to Moon. Low for ball 2, count 2-0. And the 2-0. Outside for ball 3, and the count now 3-0.
Yeah, precarious situation for this pitcher right now.
Here's the 3-0. Right down the middle there for strike 1. Three-one pitch. That's going to find the strike zone as well, and now the count is full. Three-two to Moon. He's going to hit that one foul down left field line and into the Nighthawks bullpen. Once again, the 3-2 to Moon. He's going to hit that one into center field for a base hit.
That's a hard-hit ball right up the pipe. I want to compliment whoever's cutting the grass. I mean, DJ King for so long had maintained all the field duties, but I actually got a nice little picture of the lawnmower that Kenny Thomas uses. It's a bicycle with a little rotoblade mower on the front of it. But I do like the fanned-out look.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Continuing the tradition that DJ King was so good at doing, keeping the field looking ever so green.
And we are going to have a meeting on the mound here after the leadoff base hit by Zach Moon. Looking like we are going to have a replacement. So we'll take a break here as the new pitcher comes in to warm up.
Cafe, this is a 30-second radio spot titled $1 Million Poppy Seed Rolls Dinner Deal.
Every time you come into Fats Cafe, you get a big basket of our famous warm poppy seed rolls. People ask us all the time, these taste like $1 million. Why would you give them away for free? The simple answer is, well, it's a good question. What are we doing?
Don't worry, our poppy seed rolls will always be free. Complement them with one of a dozen delicious dinner entrees for under $10, like our deep dish chicken pot pie. Fats Cafe. Feed your soul.
For Breakaway and Fats Cafe, this is a 30-second radio spot titled $1 Million Poppy Seed Rolls Dinner Deal.
Every time you come into Fats Cafe, you get a big basket of our famous warm poppy seed rolls. People ask us all the time, these taste like $1 million. Why would you give them away for free? The simple answer is, well, it's a good question. What are we doing?
Don't worry, our poppy seed rolls will always be free. Complement them with one of a dozen delicious dinner entrees for under $10, like our deep dish chicken pot pie. Fats Cafe. Feed your soul.
For Breakaway and Fats Cafe, this is a 30-second radio spot titled $1 Million Poppy Seed Rolls Dinner Deal.
Every time you come into Fats Cafe, you get a big basket of our famous warm poppy seed rolls. People ask us all the time, these taste like $1 million. Why would you give them away for free? The simple answer is, well, it's a good question. What are we doing?
Don't worry, our poppy seed rolls will always be free. Complement them with one of a dozen delicious dinner entrees for under $10, like our deep dish chicken pot pie. Fats Cafe. Feed your soul.
For Breakaway and Fats Cafe, this is a 30-second radio spot titled $1 Million Poppy Seed Rolls Dinner Deal.
Every time you come into Fats Cafe, you get a big basket of our famous warm poppy seed rolls. People ask us all the time, these taste like $1 million. Why would you give them away for free? The simple answer is, well, that's a good question. What are we doing?
Don't worry, our poppy seed rolls will always be.
And we are back, folks. Jacob Jones is the new pitcher. He comes in with a runner on first and nobody out. And the ever-dangerous Max Schoen at the plate. And a throw over to first there.
If that's a little lower, he gets the tag. But Zach Moon was able to duck under the high throw and remains at first. Good little pickoff move by this right-handed pitcher.
And the first pitch to Schoen is right down the middle there, 4-strike one.
That one looked like he had a little bit of giddy up on it from the. He doesn't look like he's that big of a kid. Of course, he's probably about 6 foot tall from the looks of it.
And the 0-1. Schoen shows bunt there.
Pulls back time and does not go, so it'll be 1-1 count.
And here's the 1-1. And that's going to hit Schoen right there.
Well, that's
now
one way to keep him from hitting it. Hit him.
Exactly. And now there are runners on first and second with nobody out. And Mitchell Price, the speedy Mitchell Price, coming up.
Of course, there's something a little backwards about this. You got Moon leading the
That's true.
speedy Schoen and Mitchell Price.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pinch runner right there.
Yep.
Coming into pinch run for the Pacers. For Zach Moon is J.T. Arneman.
And I don't know what Moon shared with him, but the third baseman got a little chuckle out of it.
So now with the pinch runner, I'll say it, I would not be very surprised if we see a bunt here from Price. And the infield is expecting it as well, as we see Sam's playing on the grass, expecting a bunt. And the throw, Price shows bunt. It's low, and it's ball one. Here's the 1-0 to Price. Another show of bunt, and that's going to be bunted backwards for strike one. Price 2 for 4 today. 2 singles, a fielder's choice, and a flyout. And he's got runners on first and second base. Nobody out in the 2-2 game in extra innings. And a nice bunt there by Price. They're going to try for third. The throw to third is in time for the out.
Good throw by the pitcher as he covered the bunt. It was right back at him. Had a little too much pace on it. It made it really tough.
A little bit slower, and it might not have been an out. So Pacers will still have runners on.
Or you go down the right side of the infield, and then we've got runners on second and third. But here we just added an out to the equation with runners on first and second where we started. But Banks, who had a nice little at-bat.
A very nice at-bat.
So maybe he's still feeling the confidence from his last at-bat.
We'll see here with 1 out and 2 on. And he's going to ground that one over and into right field. That's a base hit, and it's getting by the outfielder. That's the game, folks. Pacers are going to win this one on a walk-off. Jonathan Banks, the hero of the night, with 2 RBIs as they rush him into the outfield. Pacers win it 3-2. We'll be back in action again tomorrow, folks, as we take on North Georgia in Game 2 of this series at 2 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for staying with us, and have a good one.